This is Attorney Gordon Johnson from the Brain Injury Law Group. I'm the author of CarbonMonoxide.com. We get lots of questions coming to our law firm because we have a website that addresses the risks of carbon monoxide poisoning. One of the questions that we get the most often is, how do I know that I might have carbon monoxide? If you have alarms in your home, they may sound, and that would be certainly the most warning. And again, it's very important to leave your house immediately when the alarms sound. What do you do once you're outside? Once you're outside, you call 911. But how do you determine whether or not you actually got poisoned, you need to go to the hospital? There are a number of symptoms for carbon monoxide. Many of them are very much like the flu. In fact, 50, 100 years ago, they used to refer to carbon monoxide as the winter flu because it's the kind of flu that people got in the heating season. You have a probability of having carbon monoxide if you're not the only one who's having the same symptoms. Those symptoms include just upset stomach, headache, feeling like you have a fever. You won't actually have a fever. Shortness of breath, dizziness, lightheadedness. Those are all classic signs of carbon monoxide poisoning. Once you're concerned about having carbon monoxide poisoning, again, leave that place, leave that space. If it isn't the situation where you've already called the ambulance, go to a hospital either by ambulance or have someone drive you. If you've been poisoned, you don't want to be driving yourself. But if your only option is to drive yourself, then drive yourself. Usually, calling 911 is the best plan. When you get to the hospital, it's important that you tell the emergency room people that you suspect that you have carbon monoxide poisoning. If your alarm went off, absolutely tell them that. But make sure the emergency room people think about something that isn't an illness. Let them know that you're concerned about carbon monoxide poisoning. It's important that they test your blood, that they test for what's called carboxyhemoglobin, which is in fact the level of carbon monoxide in your blood. If you have carbon monoxide above 10%, you are at risk for having long-term problems. Even if the people in the emergency room don't understand that, it's important that you do. There's a whole series of things that can happen after carbon monoxide poisoning, and that happens with almost half of the people whose carbon monoxide levels get to 10% of their blood. And the reason is that carbon monoxide has a tendency to take the place of oxygen in your blood. And so when it's circulating, the carbon monoxide circulates through your blood vessels, gets to your brain, to your heart. It's taking the place of oxygen, and that means those cells are starved for oxygen. Make sure that the emergency room people test your blood for carbon monoxide. Follow all of their instructions. What do you do when you get discharged? Well, the first thing is, don't go back into that place where you got poisoned unless you know it's safe. If you haven't called the fire department before you went, call the fire department back. Do not go into your dwelling until it has been cleared of carbon monoxide. But it's more than just making sure that it's been cleared of carbon monoxide. You must make sure that whatever the cause of the carbon monoxide has been eliminated. In the winter, in the north, it's probably going to be something to do with your heating system. If you're at a hotel in the summer, it may very well be the pool heater. We've had many cases of people being poisoned because of pool heaters at hotels. If you're in an office situation, it may be more complicated to figure out, but do not go back into a place that you got carbon monoxide poisoning until they have determined what the cause is and they have fixed that. Carbon monoxide is a very dangerous condition. It's important you get treatment immediately. It's important you get the proper diagnosis when you get the treatment. And it's important that you do not go back into that environment until the problem has been fixed. Thank you.